What is up, everybody? Welcome to this spooky episode of Bearcat Update. I'm your host, LeBron James, or I guess otherwise known as John Walker. And this week we are celebrating Halloween, but don't worry, you can still find all of your Northwest sports right here. To kick things off for Northwest football, they celebrated homecoming, quote, the right way by taking on Lincoln and coming up with a big win. The Cats put up 56 points and only allowed the Blue Tigers to score 9. And as always, you know we were there to catch the highlights.
Here we go, guys. There was nothing going for either team to this point in the game until on this third down, Mike Hohensee found a receiver. Unfortunately for the Cats, it wasn't anybody in green. It was Vontavious Thacker who took it back to put the Blue Tigers up 7-0. A couple of drives later, and Northwest was able to find the equalizer when Braden Wright found Justin Rankin for that score. That was Rankin's first of 2 touchdowns on the day. The offense that had lulled to this point in the game was able to get a big break early in the second quarter when Braden Wright was able to find a seam off the run-pass option and break free down the sideline. He finished with 80 yards rushing in the game. Talked about it earlier. There's Rankin's second touchdown as the back fights his way into the end zone, that one giving the Cats the lead that they wouldn't surrender for the rest of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, arguably the play of the game, pretty telling of how this one went for Lincoln. LaTroy Harper, he's tackled, or is he, finds a seam down the sideline and able to put a little bit of salt on the wound for Lincoln.
The football team will be back in action on Saturday as the Cats take on Northeastern State here at home. The women's basketball team is getting ready to kick off their season. On Tuesday, the team will take on UMKC in Kansas City. Our reporter Dylan Johnson got a chance to catch up with a few players as well as Coach Austin Meyer to see what we can expect to see out of the team this season. Dylan?
Last season, the women's team finished 8-20. With the uncertainties of last season, the Cats are more confident with their team's personnel. Junior point guard Jalen Haggard explains what she's looking forward to with this year's squad.
I'm excited to just push the tempo a little bit. I think, last year we took it slow just because we didn't really know who had the best chemistry on the floor. So now that we have some experience under our belt, just being able to push the ball and see what we can bring is going to be exciting.
7 new faces were added to this year's roster. I talked to senior guard Kendi Eaton about how she eases the newcomers into the season.
I think just leading by example is a big thing. A lot of us upperclassmen, we know what it takes to play at a high level in the MIAA. So I think just teaching them that part, like the work ethic and like what it's going to take, is a big thing that we've tried to focus on.
Game day is right around the corner for the Cats, and much like the players, head coach Austin Myers has been itching to get back to the gym as well.
Yeah, competing, getting out and playing. We see a lot of basketball in the off season because we're on the road recruiting and watching a lot of AAU games, but just getting back with your team, competing, bringing everybody together. We always talk about we before me. It's about us as one unit, not individuals. And we're excited to play a different team here soon.
The Cats will start their season at UMKC tomorrow. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Dylan Johnson.
Thanks, Dylan. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We've got more Northwest sports coming up. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT, Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. This week we're taking a little break from Walk the Line, but don't worry, we have something else in store. Our reporter Sydney Garner took an in-depth look at the Northwest Bearcat Marching Band and what it takes to make game day so special. Sydney?
The Bearcat Marching Band worked hard to perfect their homecoming routines. We met with band director Catherine Strickland for a walkthrough of their preparation.
Well, for the marching band, preparation for homecoming honestly starts back in the summer. So the elements that land at homecoming that are unique to homecoming, we prepare for partway through the season. But the things that are at homecoming that are part of every home game, we start back in August.
Homecoming is very special here at Northwest. Senior drum major Titus Winsrow describes the atmosphere on campus.
Homecoming is definitely the atmosphere. The atmosphere changes. The students and everyone, it's a different feel on campus. It's reflected with these guys too. The B&B, the thing I love about it the most is just the people. It's all the people around they're the reason I'm here. They're the reason I'm in this position.
Homecoming preparation can be stressful, but the B&B has their ways of pushing through the weekend.
For example, we have every Monday we have a meeting with some of our student leadership in the marching band, and one of the things we talked about was, okay, this is a week where you're going to have to insert some motivation into people. You're going to have to push them to be energetic and encourage them and be positive. I try to appreciate them as much as I can and say thank you and congratulate them on work they do well, but at the same time, tell them if something's not good enough when we go back to work. So
the B&B is full of talented individuals that contribute to every performance. Dr. Strickland tells us about her drum major Titus Weinsrell and color guard captain Cassandra Alfstad.
So Titus he was kind of a dark horse. I taught Titus in a intro music education class in the spring of his freshman year, and he was very quiet. He kind of sat in the back of the room and leaned back in his chair. But when he would turn in assignments and when he would write small papers, he was really insightful, and he had a lot to say, and he was a really thoughtful guy. And the more I could get him to talk, the things that he said in class were just really with it. He walks the walk. He works hard. He does his job very well. And when there's energy needed, he has energy. When there's calm needed, he has calm. And so he earned it. And he's a good fit. Cass has done that job, I think, for 3 years now. And so they choreograph all the routines. So when you step back and think about that, we play 3 long tunes in pregame and a few short, and then each halftime show has 3, but we play 3 separate halftime shows a year, so we're up to 12, and then you add the stuff that we play in Bearcat Zone, so like those kind of school traditional songs, Hey Baby, Shout, Celebration, the stuff that everybody hears us play. So you add more onto that, so we're up to more than 15 routines. They are hard-working, organized people, and we're very grateful for them, very.
There are 193 members in the B&B, and they all share similar purposes on why they choose Bearcat Marching Band.
We have every kind of student in the marching band. Less than half of them are music majors. And so marching band, for them, it's about making connections. It's about having fun and enjoying what they do.
The first day of band camp my freshman year of college was one of the best days of my life because they just were like, hey, you spin a flag, I play the tuba, what's up, let's be friends.
The hard work and dedication that the marching band puts in year-round is just one of the many amazing things that makes Northwest so special. For Bearcat Update, I'm Sydney Garner. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around, we have more Northwest sports coming up. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. The women's golf team may have finished their 2019 fall season, but they are still bringing attention to Northwest. Morgan Teal was named the MIAA Golfer of the Week, which makes her the first golfer to earn this honor since Elise McDonough in 2015. Teal is also Northwest career leader in stroke average at 80.14. As a junior, we can't wait to see how she finishes out her career next year at Northwest, as well as the rest of the team. The women's soccer team unfortunately wasn't able to make much out of the homecoming weekend. The girls took a pretty big loss to Central Oklahoma on Friday, falling 8-0. On Sunday, the Cats took on Newman, falling again to the Jets. The women's team will be back in action Friday as they take on Missouri Western, and as their season draws to an end for the first time in a while, the team has a chance to make the playoffs. Our reporter Nolan Brooks caught up with the team to see what the team is doing to make their playoff berth. Nolan?
The Northwest soccer season is coming to a close, but with the playoff berth on the line, head coach Mark Gordon knows how to get the team straight. I caught up with Coach Gordon to see what his plan is.
Right now it's just one game at a time. We're really focusing on ourselves and how we prepare for each game. One of our continued growth areas is defending and pressing and giving cover. So that's an area that we focus on. And then just the right mindset coming into each training session and preparing for that next match.
And as the season's end gets closer, a playoff berth for the seniors holds some weight, especially for senior midfielder Izzy Romano.
I just think it'll be like a milestone. We haven't done it before, or for me, I don't know. I think it's been since 2012, so I think it's just a goal we've all had, and to make it farther would be great, but that's a starting point. So.
And with the playoff berth so close, a spot in the postseason would mean more than just another week of soccer, and Coach Gordon is looking to turn a new page.
You know, I think for our seniors, it would mean a lot. For the new girls, they'd be turning a new page and hopefully starting something that we can continue to do over the next few years and build upon. I would be very excited, obviously, in year 2, just coming from where we have in the time that I've been here. You know, even today, you know, there's some heartbreak losses that we can look back to, but you know, no one is feeling sorry for us. We have to get the results now, but to have that opportunity would be tremendous for the program.
Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks.
Thanks, Nolan. The volleyball team played 3 games last week and walked away with 3 big wins. On Tuesday, the Cats took on Missouri Western, and it may have taken 5 sets, but nonetheless, the Cats got the job done. To kick off homecoming weekend for the volleyball team, they swept Missouri Southern on Friday in 3 sets, not even letting the Lions get close. And to close out their weekend Saturday, they walked away with another blowout win as they took on Pitt State and relatively made it look easy. The team will be back in action Friday when they head to Nebraska Kearney. And last but not least, the men and women cross-country teams competed at the MIAA Championships in Joplin, Missouri. The men's team took 2nd place in the 8K with 3 runners placing in the top 5. Jordan Cope led the way, taking 2nd place with a time of 23:59. This is the first time that the men's team has had 3 runners in the top 5 since 2002. The women's team placed 11th, not quite where they would have liked to see themselves end up, but with a fairly young team, there's still lots of time and a foundation for this team to improve on. Sophomore Caroline Ross led the team, well, the women specifically, placing 22nd with a time of 22:50. Both teams will be back in action when they compete at the NCAA Central Region Championships on November 9th. Before we close out this week's episode of Bearcat Update, I have my top pick of the week. And guys, as you see pop up right there, for the first time this school year, it is the men's basketball team. Ben McCollum and company traveled all the way to Durham, North Carolina, and played in the Cameron Indoor Stadium against Coach K and the Duke Blue Devils. Trevor Hudgens, 9 for 18, had a fair amount of assists, I believe 7, and put up 27 points against Division I powerhouse Duke. And collectively, they only lost by 6 points. It's been a decade that Duke has been playing the Division II national champion, and this is the closest that it's ever been. It was 69-63 for the final. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8 or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. How we doing, guys? No matter how spooky you are going to be this Halloween or how not spooky you are going to be, either way, make sure to watch last week's episode of Bearcat Update up here, and for all of our previous episodes, click down here. See you guys next week.